This in terms of when we're saying the reactance is when the heat is absorbed. Looking at this, we are saying that the heat is in or is with the reactants. The enthalpy that we spoke about is when the reactants, they have the presence of heat with them. So it means that the heat is being absorbed so that we can have certain product. But now, if this one is when we talk about an endothermic reaction. But now we're going for exothermic. Exothermic is when we say A plus B, when it gives us a product, AB, there is heat. There is heat. This heat is what is found in the products, meaning that the heat is being released from this concept. So now let's interpret this in real life. So let me start by exothermic. So exothermic, I will give an example or a proper example looking at maybe, let me talk about fire. A fire, when you are burning wood, or maybe you are close to the stove for a heater and all those ones that you feel heat around them. This is caused by the reaction is an exothermic. And exothermic, it means that the heat is being released to the surrounding objects around it. So it means that when it's cold during winter, and then you switch on your heater, then it means that you are in the presence of an exothermic reaction. The heat around that particular heater is going to be spread across the surrounding object. That's why you feel the heat. But remember that another one, we can give an example as a stove. You cannot touch the stove. Why you cannot just touch the stove? It's because it's very hot, meaning that the heat is being released during that process, immediately switched on. But now let's talk about an endothermic reactions. An endothermic reaction, I will give an example as you as a person. You as a person, endothermic, it happens mainly to you when it's cold, mainly. What I'm talking about in terms of endothermic reaction is that when it's very cold, you feel very cold, so in such an extent that your body will start, or your muscle will start to vibrate. When they vibrate, they're generating heat for themselves so that your inner organs can still be warm, so that you're not affected by the coldness around the area. So in simple terms, I'm trying to say that when you talk about endothermic reactions, we are talking about the objects that take in the heat and then produces the coldness around it. So, and then exothermic, we are talking about they take heat outside and then the coldness remains inside. So in terms of this, what I can say is, when you talk about endothermic, I can even give an example as the dough. Maybe you want to cook or bake muffins, or you want to do fat cooks and all those ones. So what you do is you mix your things there, and then after mixing your things, and then you put it on the sun. When you put it on the sun, after some time it will rise. And then when it rises, it means that the energy is being absorbed inside that particular dough. That's why now you are having a very big dough in which you can produce whatever you wanted to produce with. So in terms of endothermic and exothermic, I believe that we're understanding each other on how exothermic works. It's when the energy is being released from the object, and then endothermic is when the energy is being absorbed inside the object.